I recently had someone ask me the question, how did I go about downsizing and how did I go about getting rid of almost everything that I own? And I thought, whew, that would be a long answer and I could do a whole video about it. So here I am. This video will help you if you are someone looking to downsize, whether you have to take care of a loved one's estate and you have to get rid of everything that they own, or if you're downsizing from a larger house to a smaller house, or if you're like me and you want to be a nomad and travel the world and you don't want to spend a fortune on a storage unit, you'll just get rid of everything and buy it new when you decide to settle down, then I invite you to check out this video. I'll give you some different tips and how I went about getting rid of everything. Keep in mind, it will vary. If you live in a rural area, rural area versus a big city, it could vary, and maybe different apps that might be available to you in different places. But I'll share with you my experience, what I did, how I went about it, some of the different emotional things that I had to deal with along the way. And hopefully it will help you as you start to downsize. I made the decision to do this in August of 2022, and I took 9 months to get rid of everything. I hit the road in May of 2023. And by the way, I've been on the road for 10 months, traveling around the country and around the world. And if you'd like to follow me in my journeys, be sure you hit that subscribe button, and please leave any comments. If you have tried some of these things and they worked or they didn't work, or if you have some suggestions other than what I'm sharing, please put them in the comments so we can help one another. The first thing to know is that this process can be emotional. I mean, when I looked around my house and I was going to get rid of everything, every single item in every drawer, every room, every closet, everything, I realized everything had to be looked at, and I had to decide if I was going to throw it away, give it away, sell it, where would I sell it? And there was emotions attached to it. I had to get myself to a place where even the most precious of things, and I had an antique organ. This was probably the hardest one, as I had an antique organ that I did not want to get rid of. I was going to get a storage locker big enough for this antique organ. And then I realized it's going to be sitting in this dark room for who knows how long, a year, multiple years. And so I just set the intention that the right buyer would come along. I took tons of photographs of it. And sure enough, the right person came along. And I am so grateful that the organ now has somebody who appreciates it and enjoys it. And so you're going to need to wrap your head around the emotional attachment of things. And I had to get to a place where a photograph was good enough, and that would hold the memory for me. I didn't have to actually have the item. I first started out by checking with liquidators. And what I found is that liquidators charge an arm and a leg. If at all possible, do it yourself, bring in friends, bring in family. And even if everything doesn't end up getting sold, you will still make a lot more by doing it yourself than hiring a company to do it for you. I was going to hire a company because I knew that it was going to be super emotional. I was recently widowed, going through widow's fog. I felt, extremely overwhelmed. But then when I looked at how much I would actually end up with at the end of a liquidation sale, I'm like, nah, I'm going to do it myself. And I'm glad I did it myself. I ended up with a lot more. It was work, but it was worth it. The big items I got rid of on Facebook Marketplace. I found that to be, for me, the best outlet for selling anything that has much value, whether it's, I'd say anything over like $25, any furniture type items. All of that did best on Facebook Marketplace. Beware of the scammers. I'm going to put here what I ended up putting in the description of every item I listed on Marketplace. I put scammers. All payments must be made in person through Venmo or cash. I will not accept a Zelle payment in advance, so you can have someone pick up the item, and I will not give you a 6-digit code. You guys, if somebody wants to pay with Zelle and have someone pick it up, or they want you to receive a 6-digit code that you give to them, those are all scams. Beware, do not comply. So when I started putting this scammer statement, I said, I will report you and I will block you. the scammers stopped bugging me. And so if you get nothing else from this video, you can thwart some scammers on anything you sell online just by putting that statement. I also had a huge garage/estate sale. And if you're going to have a garage sale or an estate sale, here's what I learned with that. Number one, display items really clearly, have everything priced. Know that everyone who shows up for the sale is going to want to bargain for the price, and people are going to ask you half of whatever you have it marked at. It's up to you whether you want to take that. In my case, I just wanted to get rid of everything, so I pretty much accepted every lowball offer. But the estate sale or garage sale, if you want to get a high attendance, I posted it on Marketplace. I think like a day or two before I held the actual sale. I took tons of photos so people could see exactly what I had. And I also did a video going through the house, and I ended up having 200 people show up for the sale. So again, Facebook Marketplace served me well when I did my garage sale. The mistake I made is that I didn't have enough help. I had so many people in so many rooms, inside, outside, through the garage. It was insane. And so that was probably the biggest mistake I made, was not having enough help, not realizing how many people were going to show up for that sale. But all in all, I didn't make that much money on the garage sale because I was selling mostly small ticket items. And again, everybody was negotiating on the price. If I were to do things differently, I would not sell all of my big items as quickly as I did. I was afraid that I would be stuck with like big furniture that I wouldn't know how to get rid of. And so I started selling my big furniture right away, which meant when my dining room table went away, this is what substituted my dining room table. Inside of my living room, I had a camp chair and a TV table, TV tray. And then for my office, I just had a folding table, and I had everything set up on that folding table. So I had my living room and my office condensed into this. And so getting rid of the big stuff kind of made it a little bit difficult, just uncomfortable to live. So I would have probably held on to the big stuff a little bit longer and focused on getting rid of the little stuff, because the little stuff is actually what takes a lot of time and a lot of effort to get rid of. The next thing is be resourceful. I had a lot of boxes of paperwork that needed to be shredded, and I started pricing out taking it to a shred facility, and it's pretty pricey per box. But when I went online to my city, I would find that there were shred events where you could bring, I don't remember whether it was 3 boxes or 6 boxes to these shred events, and you could drop them off for free. What I found out is when I went to drop off the boxes, they never checked my ID. They didn't check to see if I actually lived in the city where they said you had to live in order to drop off these boxes. And so I would drop off my 3 or 6 boxes or whatever. I'd go home and I'd get more, load them up, and then I would make 2 or 3 drop-offs in a day. And then I started checking cities that were in the surrounding areas, and I would drive over to those cities and drop stuff off. So through free shred events, I was able to get rid of all of my paperwork that needed to be shredded. You're going to end up with a ton of trash. And so I started about maybe 4 months. I set in my mind, like every single week when the trash cans go out, the recycle bin and the trash bin will be full. And so every time I'd bring in the empty cans, that was my project. And the next day is just to go through the house and find everything that was going to be garbage or recycle so I could get those bins full. And so it took several months, but each week the trash man took away a bunch of the trash and the recycling that I had around the house. Also, I'll also back up. After my garage sale, I pretty much donated the rest of it to charity. Charities will come and pick stuff up, but a lot of them will only take stuff that's in really good condition, especially if you're trying to get rid of furniture. sometimes they'll reject a lot of stuff, and I didn't want them rejecting anything. So I actually drove my car to drop off all the stuff that I wanted to drop off to charity. And make sure you keep the donation receipts so that you can write it off on your taxes. Once I got rid of like a lot of the little trash, there's also big items that still needed to go out in the trash. And through the trash pickup service that I have, they would do bulk trash pickups. Now I know some neighborhoods, they will have like bulk trash pickups a certain day, maybe once a quarter or twice a year, and those are the only days that they pick up bulk trash. I was very fortunate that my city changed it from a set day to you can have 2 free bulk trash pickups each year. And so early in the process, I got rid of a bunch of big stuff that I knew was going to be trash. And then I also scheduled a final bulk trash pickup on the last day that I was in the house. And pretty much you just put everything out at the curb. You can have, I think it could be like 12 feet long or 6 feet wide. I don't remember. They gave you dimensions, and you just put everything in a great big pile, and they just come and take it away. So the bulk trash pickup was awesome. The other thing that was a little bit of a challenge was getting rid of all of the liquid products throughout the house. Paints, oils, cleaning materials, all of that kind of stuff. I got very, very lucky that my city twice a year has a toxic waste pickup for no charge. And I just happened to look at the website right during the window of time where that was happening. And so I called and I scheduled that pickup. They told me to just put everything in boxes. They told me how to label it, put it outside the garage. And I think I had like 6 boxes of, again, it was paints and thinners and oils and cleaning products. And they took all of that away for free. So that was super easy and painless. Electronic waste was one more thing that I needed to deal with. We had a bunch of different printers and old computers. I took the disk drive out and destroyed the disk drive. There were lots of cables and kitchen appliances and stuff. I found when I called various e-waste facilities, some of them are pretty particular about what they'll take. Some of them charge you to drop it off, but I found someplace, it was in Phoenix, it was quite a drive, but I found a place that would take all of your electronic waste. And so I filled my car up with all of my electronic waste, and I made a trip, and they pretty much, there was a couple things I had that they said they wouldn't take, but I was able to talk the guy into taking it. And so that enabled me to get rid of all of my electronic waste. If you've gotten value from this, please hit that like. And if you have experience, either you've tried some of the things that I've shared and it didn't work for you, or there's things that I didn't share that you've done that did work, put them in the comments. Let's help each other out as individuals are watching this video. We can maybe share some different ideas and help others in the future. And if you would like to follow me in my journeys, whether it's a journey through grief or a journey around the world, I invite you to hit that subscribe button, and let's go travel the world together.